Hello everyone. Today we're going to be looking at the total of the Zion National Park. Now we're going to start with the very beginning as to where we stay. As you can see, we travel in a van and there is a BLM that is about 19 miles away from the entrance, and it should take you about 25 minutes to get there. But as you can see, you are very spread out. The views are absolutely spectacular. I wrote the GPS coordinates in the video, so if you are self-sufficient, definitely worth taking a look at it. We're crossing through Springdale right now. This is the town right before the park where you're going to find your bars, your restaurants, your shopping center. If you're looking for free Wi-Fi, you can look into the city library, and their site is even accessible 24/7 from the parking lot. There's also Zion Outfitters. This is a great place to rent some equipment if you're going to do the Narrows. We did it in the winter, so we needed all the gear. There's also showers available. They're really outdoors oriented. Now, when the shuttles are in operation, you can't take your car up the road, but there was plenty of parking. This one was specific to RVs, and look, as luck would have it, we are right in front of the Watchman. To give you an idea, this is the road through the park. Now, if you don't have a chance to do any of the trails, the ride by itself is definitely worth it. If the shuttles are in operation, the parkings are free, the shuttle is free, and no reservations are required. From this road to make it to the Temple of Sewana, this road, whether you do it by car or by shuttle, it's exactly the same. The total distance is 12.4 kilometers, and it takes you right to the end at the Temple of Sinawava, where the Narrows begin. Now here's the tricky part when you do it by car. When the parking lots get full, they just close the roads. Now in this case, we had to turn around at about 7 kilometers into the road at the Zion Lodge because all the parkings above that were closed. Now if you have to do some trails, you've got to plan accordingly, and it's not that obvious. Here we are at the famous Angel's Landing Trail. Now I did a whole video on Angel's Landing, but you can't do a video on Zion National Park without mentioning this trail. So we're going to do a quick overview. There's basically 2 trails within this trail. The first one will take you up to what is called Scout Lookout. This first portion of the trail is accessible year-round and you don't need a permit. To Scout Lookout, it's about 4 miles round trip and a net elevation gain of 1,100 feet. As you saw at the beginning of the trail, you're going to go along the river, then you're going to hit a series of switchbacks that you can see right here. They are wide and they are long. This is the beginning of the ascent. Here you're getting at the top of the first switchbacks, and you're going to get into what they call Refrigerator Canyon. They call it Refrigerator Canyon because there's a nice breeze and shade, and it's between the 2 switchbacks. You're really going to appreciate that little breather. Here are the famous Walter Wiggle switchbacks. There's 21 of them. They're very narrow, they're very short, and a lot of fun to do. They're called Walter Wiggles after Walter Ruesch, who was a superintendent of the park back in 1926, and he's the one who constructed them. Right after the Wiggles, there's this first chain section, and this is where you're going to reach Scout Lookout. You know, when I was saying that the views were really worth it, this is what we're talking about. Right here on the right of the screen, this is Angel's Landing. From this point on, if you want to continue to Angel's Landing, this is where you need a permit. The permits are issued through a lottery system, and there's 2 ways you can apply for it. There's the day before lottery, and then there's the seasonal lottery. You would consult their site to get more information, but I do talk more in details about it when I do the video specifically on Zion National Park. When I did this trail at the beginning of March, I was surprised by all the ice that there was at the top, and I didn't have any spikes. Fortunately, I did make it to the top, but it wasn't without any help. Do yourself a favor, if it's in the winter, even if there's no sign of ice at the bottom, put them in your day pack. Now keep an eye on those chipmunks. They expect you to be distracted, they expect you to have a lunch, and they will take advantage of it. And this is what the summit looks like. Angel Landing does have a reputation of one of the most dangerous trails because there has been some death that has occurred on this trail. Now, on my other video, I talk a little bit more about it, so if you want to hear about it, just check it out. If the lottery didn't work out for you or you want to do more trails, Zion has a lot to offer. Here we are at Emerald Pool Trail. Here you'll be putting aside the arid sceneries of this park and you're going to be entering into a lush desert oasis. This trail is ideal for the whole family. Round trip, it is 3 miles. Net elevation gain less than 200 meters, and it is considered to be beginners to moderate. This trail is sure to please everyone. There's lots of different sceneries that are exclusive to this part of the park. The last section before the lake is a little steeper, but the reward on the other side makes it all worthwhile. Your activities will often intersect with the Virgin River. It seems to be the heart of this park. And in the next trail, we're going to be very close to it because we're doing the Narrows. I'd say the Narrows is more an experience of the senses than it is a hike. As you can see, we did this trail in March and we needed special equipment because the water was way too cold. So as mentioned before, we did the rental at the Zion Outfitters, and I think it was like $50 US to rent the whole kit. At first I was really surprised because the water still comes into the equipment and into your shoes, and I thought it was abnormal and I was afraid that I would kind of freeze, but no, it just stays between the membrane and your skin, and it keeps warming up, and so you're just fine. You're going to find solid ground pretty much all throughout this hike. And the secret is really to go from cross the river into dry land and then cross the river again into dry land. At some point, there is no dry land, so you just go right through the river. At times you had it. It depends on the seasons, obviously, but at times we had it like right under the bum. Quite slippery. Those sticks came in really, really handy. Here I decided to put my camera away because I was way too scared that I was going to slip on a rock. This is one of the first waterfalls that you see. As far as the distance is concerned, you can go up to 16 miles, but very few people are going to do it. And since there's no summit to achieve, you just go about it as long as you want, and there's a lot of places where you can just relax and take a breather, and then turn around whenever you feel like it. The narrow trail will often close because of excess water. Right now we are in March of 2023 and it's presently closed, so check with the visitor center if you intend to do it so you're not going to get disappointed. takes no time to realize that you are in some place that is absolutely extraordinary. You're living in an experience that very few people have a chance to do. So if you're in the area, it's worth it. This is the last stop with the shuttle and actually where the Narrows begin. We're on Mount Carmel Scenic Route right now, and we're heading towards the tunnel, which is 1.1 mile long, and it was built back in 1927. Now, since it was built in 1927, the tunnel is much smaller than what we see today on the road. So if you have an RV that's oversized, check the website to see if you need to be escorted and if you need to have a permit. But already, if it's 13 feet and 1 inch high, you will not be able to go through. You'll really appreciate going through this tunnel, and I'd say it's even scary at times, but it's a lot of fun. We did it 3 times, and it doesn't get old. We're still on Mount Carmel Scenic Route, and we're going to continue to be until Mount Carmel Junction. What you see here is everybody parking on the side of the road in order to do the Canyon Overlook Trail, and that is right after the tunnel. Now we're getting to the end of this video, and I just wanted to share with you my personal experience. Well, on the one hand, it has been and will continue to be one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen. But on the other hand, it also feels like Disneyland. It's extremely organized as to when can you circulate, how can you circulate. You've got to plan for permits. So you probably won't get this wilderness feeling, but this being said, I would still highly recommend this place. In conclusion to our Zion National Park overview, here are some pictures of the Canyon Overlook Trail. This trail you can catch right after the tunnel. Now, if you've appreciated this video, please give us a thumbs up because it helps with the YouTube algorithm. Thank you.